And Anthony, is Mikhail Prokhorov trying to take over the world?
Sure, let's go. Why not? He already took the Nets out of Jersey. The only other team we had besides the Devils. Might as well take over Russia while he's at it.
Well, oh, all right. The only other team with New Jersey
Yeah, yeah.
in the title, because
Whatever.
you know the Jets and Giants do play in
I don't
New
count
Jersey.
them. I don't count them.
They
They're
play
not really
in New
ours.
Jersey.
Give us the ones that are actually ours. But whatever. Prokhorov's going to try to take over the world.
Yes.
I don't
yes.
get why. And we'll lead off with this just so we can get it out of the way. What I don't care. Honestly, I'm the most anti-politics guy and I'm the most pro-sports guy. And you're going to try to mix the two? Prokhorov, you shouldn't own the team. I do agree with some of the moves you're making, but just get away from politics. It's what this game doesn't need, David Stern.
Dude's gonna end up dead in a ditch in the middle of Russia somewhere.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with Russian politics. You really
But
don't.
the thing that I want to know is, okay, there's two things I have to say about this. Number one, this isn't a decision that he made overnight. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna run for prime minister of Russia. It's not a decision he made about overnight. It's something that he's probably been thinking of for a long time. And so, the first point I want to make is, I think this was a calculated move by him to wait until the lockout and the new CBA were ratified and agreed upon for him to announce this move. Because I think that had he announced before everything was done, then they would have tried to put some kind of a provisor in there that would have forced him, should he be elected, to sell the Nets. And it's going to be interesting to see, because I honestly think that he probably annoyed a lot of NBA owners with this, because guess what? He's going to be an absentee owner now.
Yep.
Should he get elected, he's going to be an absentee owner. It's like, oh, by the way, guys, I have to blow off the NBA owners meetings.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
every
worry
year.
about Russia.
You know, like I'm gonna send Jay-Z.
Who, by the way, would actually be a good part of those meetings to bring some kind of sense.
I think he would, but still, you're going to have a majority absentee owner away from the owners' meetings.
The NBA, when Prokhorov originally came into the fold, they wanted him around more, and this is what they questioned about him being in Russia and his Russian ties. Is he going to be able to be there all the time? And you know what? He was very quiet during the lockout, which is good because I didn't want anyone to talk anyway.
Yeah.
But the NBA wants more. For as much as they talk about Mark Cuban, they want more of him. He is involved in every decision. He is the one that said, look, we'll let Tyson Chandler go to the Knicks. We're going to figure this thing out. We're going to rebuild another year.
Love that trade. We'll get to that.
And
in a
let's do it right now. You know what? We'll move CP3 to the end of this part. The Knicks, who are our hometown team, I tend to lean more towards the Knicks. I grew up a Knicks fan. Huge fan of the moves they made.
Mm-hmm.
Chauncey Billups, getting rid of him, for as mad as he was, he was never this big part of this deal. I don't know where he thought that him and Carmelo were boys and that they were going to be the 1-2 combo. No, Chauncey, sorry. You were a good player, and I have the full respect for you for being on the Pistons and for doing everything you did in Denver with Carmelo. But you're not it. You're not the point guard they were looking for. We knew this going into it. What did you think was going to happen if they got Chris Paul? You think you're going to stay around? No. Not at all. So now you build a core of a team that Tyson Chandler plays defense. He's a really, really good center at a position, and he's a position that there's not a lot of. You're looking at top centers, and the only couple maybe you get are better are Tyson Chandler. Chris Bosh is in the center. He's you just call him a big. Essentially, that's what he ends up being as. But how many other big centers can you name?
Yeah, and
Bynum, no.
You look at the other moves that the Knicks made. They got Tyson Chandler. That was huge because now Amara Stoudemire doesn't have to worry about playing center.
Defense and playing defense.
And
now you have a big rebounder at the 5 to put Amari into more of a scoring position. Carmelo is going to be his scoring position.
Yep.
Now, and you have Landry Fields, who's going to be a really good 2. I think he's going to make that jump.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
said it last year that he should have made it.
He had a great year last year.
He's going to make that jump this year. And when he does, watch out. Landry Fields is going to light it up.
You look at Landry Fields last year, 9.7 points per game, but he averaged 6.4 rebounds per game and about 2 assists. But still, there were games where he would put up 6 points, but there were games and he'd hit 2 threes. But then there were games where he'd put up like anywhere from 18 to 30 points. And I think that in a consistent offense like this, and the fact that they signed Mike Bibby to be their starting point guard.
Let's not get too excited about Mike Bibby. But go ahead. I'll let you continue.
Okay, they signed Mike Bibby as their point guard. There's rumors that if he clears waivers, they're going to sign Baron Davis to be their starting point guard.
Okay.
And so that gives them 5 legitimate backcourt options with Bibby, Fields, Tony Douglas, Baron Davis, and the rookie they drafted out of Georgia Tech, Amon Shumpert, who's a defensive guru apparently.
Right.
All of a sudden, the makeup of this team went from being to being really good.
And you're looking at a team, too, that's going to be depth. Now, I personally don't think the Knicks should go after Baron Davis, and I'm not a huge fan of the Mike Bibby signing. I like Mike Bibby. He was good like 5 years ago, but as he proved, he was with the Heat and did nothing. I mean, you have LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, and you can't get 15 assists a night. Wade ran that offense, and this is the only thing that I want to see how he works out in New York. He only really does, he wasn't the controller of that offense last year. He wasn't. Wade was.
Right.
It was essentially Wade was the 1-2, LeBron was the 3-4, and Bosh was the 5. That's how that offense was, and then we'll throw 2 guys we got out of the stands on the court. Now you're putting Bibby in an offense where he's going to want to run. He's going to need D'Antoni's offense is great for players. They love it.
It's a run and gun.
Exactly. So I want to see how Mike Bibby responds. I think he can do well, but I'm not betting the house on it. I think hopefully you get a three-way kind of rotation going at the 1 with him, Shumpert, and Tony Douglas. That's the only way I feel like the Knicks, really get the most out of everyone. Bibby needs his rest, Shumpert needs playing time, and Tony Douglas is halfway decent.
Yeah, I could see that. Tony Douglas last year, when he was running the point for the Knicks, before they acquired Chauncey Billups, did a really stand-up job, and me and you, and Anthony Giacometti, and Jay Bodman, and Steve Helm, all saw Tony Douglas beat the LaSalle Explorers our sophomore year at Tom Gola Arena. He was the starting point guard for the Florida State Seminoles.
I did see that game.
Yes.
I know what I was questioning if I actually saw that game. That was one of the few games my sophomore year I went to. So, yes, I did see him wreck LaSalle.
And that was the year that the Knicks drafted him. But, he's a very, very solid player.
Yes. Agreed.
And this last year, thrust into the starting role there, he really matured. And I think that he's going to be a solid backup. I think that he's going to learn a lot from Baron Davis and Mike Bibby, and that he really legitimately could be the point guard of the future for the Knicks.
You really do love the Baron Davis thing. But if we're going to stick on point guards...
He wants to play for the Knicks. And he's still a very good point guard.
I want to see Baron Davis in shape. I want to play for the Knicks, but I'm not going to be able to run up and down the court with them. I mean, sure, you can want to. Let's see him actually put the effort there.
But
the only time last year that he was really, truly happy was when he was throwing up lob passes to Blake Griffin in Los Angeles. That was it. The minute he got traded to Cleveland, he gave up on that team. And Cleveland, I'm not saying Cleveland was going to do well, but you know what? Show a little bit of the effort.